We got a brand new content creator here for an amazing collab. We're going to talk about Barbarians. You don't want to miss this one. Let's jump right in. What's up, guys? MtgJedi here. We have my dude, The Real Deal, on the channel for the first time, and I am super pumped to have him. Been watching some of his videos. This is a very fast-growing, up-and-coming content creator. How you doing, my dude? Welcome to the channel.
I'm really good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
How
my
you
pleasure.
doing?
My pleasure. Yeah, I'm doing excellent. We're in the middle of this faction series where I'm having a different content creator on for each faction. We're coming to the end of the series, and I'm super stoked to have you on the channel talking about Barbarians today. So, before we jump into that, is there anything cool that you're doing on your channel that you want to make everybody aware of before we get started?
Yeah, I want to try and do some more live arena stuff. Live arena, I'm really enjoying it, but I've been playing for 3.5 years. I'm free to play, and I'm starting to get really frustrated though because I'm in the sort of top 2,500, and what I'm finding is that I'm just coming up against like absolute whales, like
Yeah.
just all the champions I don't have, and I am sort of struggling and trying to find ways to get around it. So yeah, trying to want to do some more content on that and just help people progress in the game.
That's awesome, man. I know that that would be really relatable for a lot of players who are probably finding themselves in the same spot. So, guys, make sure you go check out The Real Deal's channel. I'll have all those links in a pinned comment and in the description of the video. Let's get him over that 1,000 subscriber mark. It's such a huge milestone to be able to overcome that hurdle. Hopefully we can get you past that. Jedi Academy, come together and unite and help this dude here. And let's get started talking about Barbarians. So, being the guest on the channel, if you want to go ahead and start us off, who is going to be your favorite champion in this faction?
Oh, it's a hard one because there are so many good champions, and I actually use quite a few
Okay.
all the time. If I had to pick one, it'd have to be Seal the Drakes. Like login reward. I mean, she can just carry you through so much content. When I got her on my account, she was in every dungeon team and just carry me through absolutely everything.
Yeah, I just did a free-to-play Hydra team, which one-keyed hard Hydra that featured her in it, and I was
That's
surprised.
impressive.
Yeah, I was surprised like how much damage she was able to do with just because she has like the AoE that she gets up regularly since it's a 3-turn cooldown. She was able to help out with damage. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting like just the passive, but you know, her kit's really well suited for Hydra actually, with the increased speed, decreased speed stuff, even if it doesn't cover your full team. But definitely got to give her a shout out. I 100% agree. Um, I'm torn. I don't really have like a favorite champion in this faction, I don't think. Like there's no one like rares, epics, or legendaries that's really my favorite, I wouldn't say, but I think one of the ones that I really want to talk about is Yakarl because I still feel like he's underrated. He can do some amazing things in the game, like solo all of the level 20 potion keeps, for example.
Mm.
And with the buffs that he's gotten and being a free champion that you can get from the 3v3 shop, no, from the clan shop, I think he is really an essential component of everyone's account. Do you have much experience using him?
Well, because I'm free to play, I literally hold on to fragment champions for ages. So I've had him probably sitting in my account, not summoned yet, for probably about a year.
Okay.
But it's just like, if there's like a crucial CVC moment or something, I need to summon him. I need those points. That's usually when I do it. Or
Yeah.
say I didn't reach Champion Chase and I need to get a legendary book. That's usually when I summon. So he's just been sitting there doing nothing for me.
Okay, okay. Well, even at some point, if you're able to get him, I would highly recommend trying him out because, like I said, especially for free to play, I think he's such an asset. I've been working on trying to get him on my free-to-play account, which I'm only like level 64 or so, so he would be pretty impactful. Who else you want to talk about here that you enjoy using from Barbarians?
Valkyrie. So she was actually the first legendary I got, and I didn't know what I was doing. I had one sacred shard. It was a 10 times event on for Valkyrie. I had one shard. It was my first shard. I pulled it, and I managed to get her. So lucky. She carried me through like so much content. Clan boss. I managed to have like a 2-key Ultra Nightmare team with her. I don't think she's as strong as she used to be, like especially for arena. So I'm a bit cursed. I've actually got 3 of her. I've got one in Stone Skin, one in Savage, and immunity set.
You have all 3
Um,
built.
yeah. Because
Wow, that's cool.
I had to do it to help me get into gold 3v3.
Oh,
So probably about a year and a half ago, I built all 3 of them out, and I had them all on my defense, and they weren't even that well built. But I think people were so
people were
scared. All
scared.
3 Valks, they didn't
Yeah.
touch me, so that helped me jump into gold.
Wow, that's cool. So you're telling me that Valkyrie was your first legendary?
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. I do love Valkyrie. I really do. I would say that she was my number one most wanted champion for the longest time. And then I've used her in a number of different ways. She's so versatile. Whether you want to use her in Clan Boss or Arena or PV, whatever, you can use her everywhere, basically. But then when you get your roster built out, then sometimes we get away from using her.
Yeah, I think the one thing I don't like about her is because her greatest strength is counterattack, but it's also her greatest weakness because it slows everything down for
It does.
dungeons.
Yeah.
But saying that, putting her in Savage, I've been loving that for live arena, and it does catch people off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Also, really good. Another little trick I use for live arena is I have like 3 nukes all built in stone skin, and then I bring in my Valkyrie in stone skin, and they're not expecting it. And yeah, and then obviously like Leoris is just popping off with his A1 and just takes out the whole team. Really, really cool
That's
trick.
cool. Cool strategy there. I'll definitely have to check that out too. I guess the last champion I want to mention, we'll just go through a couple different ones here. Were you able to get Jetney in the fusion?
I actually skipped her.
Okay.
My account is just stacked with nukers. I need support champions more than anything, so I was like, nah, not for me.
Pass. Yeah, I think a lot of people felt that way. I ended up going for her just because I think she can speed up my faction war clear time. But I think that her partner, Alsgor, is just way better, right? Were you able to get him in the guaranteed?
I didn't have enough shards, so I
Didn't
just
have
had
enough.
to leave it, let it go.
Yeah, I think he's going to be great for players progressing through the game who are trying to build maybe their first unkillable team or trying to get to Ultra Nightmare. Because with that block damage, that just gives us another champion we can slot in. And I actually really like his kit with his passive. I think it's pretty solid. I like the increasing of the debuffs. I think he's just a good champion. I don't think everybody needs him, but I think he'll be really helpful for people.
How do you feel about them as a duo?
I don't think anybody's really ever going to use them as a duo. It's
Yeah,
like,
I hate it when they do that. Like I don't have that many duos on my account, but I do have Constantine and Vlad, and it's really frustrating because it's such a good duo, but it's so situational to use them together.
yeah.
Um, it's
Well,
frustrating,
and
isn't it?
like I have Venus and Cupidus, and I love them, but I can't use them in Hydra and Arena. I have to pick one. And
Yeah.
I've usually been using just Venus without Cupidus in Hydra. So then man, I just wish I could use them in Arena together. I know they're not really meta anymore, but I like that interaction. And same goes for Alsgor and Jetney. Like, I have both of them. It would be very easy to put a team together with them. I just don't think most people are gonna. They're not good enough to use them
Yeah.
together, I don't think so. But, we'll see what happens. Maybe we're wrong. So why don't we talk about some epics or rares that you think are, you are really valuable, or who who you get the most use out of?
Probably Skytouch Shaman for
Okay.
arena. Sticker and immunity set. If you haven't got a cleanser, she'll cleanse your team, and she puts that revive on death as well. Can really come in clutch, especially for Torment teams as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, use her quite a bit.
I like that. Definitely Skytouch is still very good. As far as epics go, and maybe this is really my favorite champion in the faction is Farrakhan. I've used him so much in so many different teams. He just is
Yeah.
really incredible. Most known for obviously the ally attack, but because he has the increased crit rate, increased crit damage, that makes him better than a lot of the other ally attack champions. And then he has debuffs on both of his other abilities. Just an incredible champion, Farrakhan the Fat, right?
Yeah, like mine's fully geared and stuff, and I've actually pulled red 5 red stars for him as well.
Oh
But
wow.
I'm not using it at the moment.
Okay.
Like yeah, I do want to use him though because I know
Yeah.
he is solid champion.
I really want to find a way to use him in Hydra, but he doesn't really bring any of the essential buffs or debuffs for Hydra. I just think it would
I
be
think
cool.
the scary thing though is if they still have that
Yeah.
increased crit rate and crit
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Um, okay, so what about any kind of trap champions that you think are misleading from this faction? That's one of the topics I always like to include here because resources are scarce, especially books in
Uh,
this game. Are there any
Rorik,
champions?
Rorik.
Rorik,
I
okay.
put books into him. I
Did
thought he
you?
was going to help me with Hydra, and yeah, he doesn't really hit that hard for me, and it was quite a lot of books I think that went into him as well. So yeah, bit disappointed with him really.
I would totally agree. I think that he is definitely a trap, and you should definitely not invest in him. Totally agree. There's so many other champions that do what he's trying to do in a much better way. So good call there. For me, I would say Jamarsa is the biggest trap. I have been so disappointed in her. I
Yeah,
just don't like
yeah,
her at all.
she's new, isn't she?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't really need like you get to that sort of point where you just don't look at epics anymore and you
Uh-huh.
don't need them anymore. So yeah,
Not you don't
but
really have experience with her then.
no.
So she's the referral champion, right? Your very
Oh,
first
okay.
referral champion. If I just back out here real quick, over under the referral program, you have those fragments for the first 3 people, and that gets you Jamarsa. And then at the second 3 people, then they get you the Chronum, right? And so a lot of people, it takes like, I don't know, an hour to do 3 referral accounts to get Jamarsa. So a lot of people went and did that. And then they built her. And I just don't think that she's good. Like she has
She
an
doesn't
A.
look good either.
Yeah, I don't like the way she looks. I agree. But like, so she has an AoE revive. It's on a 4 turn cooldown if you book it, and they only come back with 30% HP and 30% turn meter. So what happens
Yeah.
is you revive your team and then they die immediately. And it's just so pointless, right? And it seems like, this ability here to heal somebody and fill their turn meter would be good. It seems like this sleep might be able to help. And then her passive is amazing, but then you have to use the rest of her kit. And then she's taking up a slot in your team. I don't think you need another reviver because you get Syl in Faction Wars. So where are you supposed to use her? I think she's just a complete trap. And so I think you should definitely avoid her.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what about hidden gems?
Hidden
Have you ever come up
gems.
against Alika?
Alika, where is she at?
In the
Down here.
middle,
No.
no, up a little bit to the right.
Oh, Alika. So
Yeah.
she has pretty decent multipliers, right?
Yeah, but I think she's also got put skills on cooldown.
Yes. Yes.
So I came in with my team. It's a stone skin team. Completely threw me by surprise. She locked my team out, and then
Oh.
and she could do some damage as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, really caught me off guard because she's just sort of one of those champions that you don't really see around.
Uh-huh. That's true.
And yeah,
Yeah, that's true. She does, if you are going to use her, she's very book intensive, one of like the most amount of books for an epic, so beware of that. But yeah, that's a cool one. I would not have thought about her. One of the ones that surprised me was Tashada, because I have Tashada and Jamarsa on the free to play, and unlike Jamarsa, her revive is not bad. She only revives one ally, but it's 40% and 40%. Then she heals everybody. So you're actually getting more than 40%, right? And then she has a weaken that's a triple hitter. She has an increased defense, so it makes her pretty survivable. And then you have another reviver on your team. I'm not going to say she's like the best champion ever, but she did surprise me with how decent she was. You know, if you just need like a slot filled on your team or you need a secondary reviver, I think that she can really help out. I was surprised by her.
yeah, no, she looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Um, Most of the epics in this faction, I feel like you should avoid. Like Aina, Jotun, Sakara, Artor, Armina. Like, we should probably not be building these champions. But, like, even the login rewards, High Katoon is great. Woad Painted can be good. I've used Baroth before. So, I think it's in terms of like what champions to build or not build. Just be very careful about which champions you 6-star from Barbarians. Is it a need to 6-star them? Otherwise, I would probably keep them at 50 outside of a few couple obvious, champions. Do you think that that's a good mindset to have here with this faction?
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
Okay, cool. And I guess we can't really not mention some rares down here because out of all the factions, I would say this is one of the factions that gets the most rares leveled up. Do you think so as well?
To be fair, I only really used 2 of them.
Okay, which two do you use?
Of course, War Maiden.
Of course.
Love her. I use her in the secret rooms in a stun set.
Okay.
And she helps with all the secret rooms, really, well, the rare ones anyway. But yeah, really solid champion.
Yeah. Okay, and what's the other one you get a lot of use out of?
Soulbond Boya.
Oh, I hate this champion so much. But
Really?
I do, yeah. But tell me why you like her.
I just used to use her in so much content. I used to use her on Fire Knight.
Okay.
But also secret rooms. I use 2 of them for the spirit one, both in stun set. Just spam that A1, and then maybe use the A2 or the A3 if I need to pick someone off or push back turn meter.
Okay. Now let me clarify, okay? Like I think her kit is pretty good, okay? She to me is one of the worst looking champions in the game. I call her the clown because that's what she looks like to me with all of that makeup.
I can see where you're coming from. I like the spray paint of gold as well. It doesn't make her look any better.
Right. And then like even this over here, it like her profile picture's way better. But then when you come in and you look at her, it doesn't match at all. No. But I think one of the most powerful things about her kit is the AoE A1, right? And that's why you have her in a stun set, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I have seen some people get use out of Sentinel. He has this provoke on his A1 that is actually a pretty high chance of hitting. The rest of his kit is not really that important, but he's kind of survivable, and you can use him if you don't have a provoker in Magma Dragon or some like secret room stuff. So I've seen people use Sentinel, and Marked would be the other one, I guess. I don't really like Scrapper. Some people like him, but a lot of the rares here, again, just like most factions, we're not going to be using, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk faction wars real quick. One of the things that I've found, just for like a pacing kind of thing, is as soon as you get Scylla the Drakes, you can probably start to try to clear this faction. If you have a good roster before that, then you can clear the faction as well. But for most people, once they get Syl, that's going to be the push for Barbarians Faction Wars. So I think she's going to be a central component of that team. Who are some other champions that we want to pair with her that are probably either free champions or epics or rares to like flesh out an easy team for people? What suggestions do you have?
War Maiden, #1 choice.
I totally
That
agree.
AoE drop defense, a rare champion, so easy to get, farmable. And you can build in many different ways, but you could if you're far enough in the game, you can actually build a like full nuke with just enough accuracy to land that, and she will drop the waves no problem.
Oh, cool. I actually didn't realize her multipliers were that strong. I might have
Yeah,
to try that.
she hits hard.
Okay, cool. I think an obvious inclusion here is Haikatoon. Haikatoon still holds value. I always kind of actually liked the way she looked also. I think she's a cool champion. I feel like people think she's not good because she's a free champion. But even if you're using her at level 50 and you don't 6-star her, that's perfectly fine. She's going to give you that speed boost, and she's going to give you a speed aura for the faction. She's going to control your enemies a little bit. You could technically put her in a stun set, and she's going to help put decreased speed on the boss on 14 and 21. So, Scylla the Drakes, Haikatoon, War Maiden, and then who are the other two champions that you think we should fill in here?
So we definitely need a damage dealer. So I know you don't like her, but sub on Boyer again. She can definitely help with the waves. And she could do some decent damage on the boss as well.
No, that's a great choice, actually, because a lot of people are going to have her. I actually think I have her in the vault on my free-to-play. I didn't even think about that. I think obviously if you got Jetney, I was able to get Jetney on the free-to-play. She can be your damage dealer there, so if you just got her, she can easily be your damage dealer. If you have any of the legendaries, the majority of them can be your damage dealers. They all do a reasonable amount of damage for the most part, except probably Tuhanarok. And then maybe the last one is just any of these epics you want to fill in with. Obviously,
I'd bring in the Fat Man.
Yes, if you have him, definitely bring in Farrakhan for sure. Could we also maybe put Sky Touch there and then have a little bit of a slower run? You think?
Yeah, you could definitely bring her in. Maybe I'd probably. Well, no, actually, you got Seal in anyway, so you don't need any crowd control.
Okay.
And she does so much healing that I don't feel that you really need like a healer or that extra support.
True.
But
true.
Yeah, you could definitely bring in Sky Touch though. She's still a great champion, and if someone does die, she'll pick them back up.
Okay. And then, like, if I had my choice, like, the champion I really want on my free-to-play would be Hoskarl. Because between Syl and him, he is going to just keep everybody locked down. Between the two of them, they're not going to get very many turns. So I think he's a really great option. We haven't really mentioned him that much in this video so far. So I think he would be a really great champion to fill in. But the honest answer is Barbarians is not that hard. So if you have a champion that you really like, rare, epic, legendary, doesn't matter, you can probably fill them in that last spot and it's not a big deal, right?
Yeah, no, okay, definitely. Cool. One champion I'd really like is Usaga. I don't have her on my account.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a really difficult one because I think you can. I don't have her, but I definitely would be bringing in for live arena. Just because of that damage mitigation. If you've got Pythion or Duchess, just those three champions together, you're not going to be able to do anything to the enemy team.
It's frustrating for sure, yeah.
And I also feel if I was going to build her, I know Stone Skin's just an obvious one because, you can throw Stone Skin almost on any champion, they'll be amazing.
Right.
But with Usaga, I think I'd go different. I'd probably put her in a Guardian set. Okay. Just so because you can then use her in PvE as well, and you get so much more use out of her. How do you have yours built?
You know what? I don't really use her that much on my account, to be honest.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
She's like in my top 10.
Really?
Top 10 for live arena, top 10 support, definitely.
Yeah, I have not had much time at all to do live arena because of my day job. So now that the summer's here and my schedule's a little bit more free, I'm gonna start trying more champions there. So I'll have to remember that to give her a try because you're right. Like that sounds really difficult to deal with, and I do have those other champions as well.
Yeah, I think if you use her in live arena, you either want to bring her in with a reviver or someone like Brogni. So it's
Yeah,
just two champions that can really help take all that absorb damage,
right.
and then yeah, or a reviver. So if something does go wrong, you can just pick them back up, and she'll just
Yeah.
take the hits again.
Yeah, good call. One of my number one wanted champions is Tuhanerok because she's so good for Hydra with the increased speed and defense, that cleanse and block debuffs every turn, and she has the decreased speed on an A. It's just
I
so
actually
good.
have her.
Do you?
I have her.
Do you
Yeah,
use
and
do you use her?
I use her in Hydra. I use
Okay.
her on my not my nightmare team, on the brutal team.
Okay.
But I think she's a little bit overrated, to be honest. Because
Whoa, bold
yeah,
claims.
because her block debuffs doesn't always land.
That's true. That's true. Sometimes it's
So that
helpful to have like another champion doing
yeah,
block debuff or block
yeah,
buffs. I mean,
because like the two heads that I always find most annoying is Head of Wrath, and so he doesn't get that increased damage on himself because he's usually the one that
right.
wipes my team, or the Head of Mischief being able to steal your buffs. So it's a little bit annoying if it doesn't land.
Okay. Okay. I hear you on that. I hear you on that. All right. Well, let's wrap up the video. Guys, let us know. We can't talk about every champion, obviously. So let us know who your favorite champions are in the comments below. Who did we overvalue? Who did we undervalue? Who did we snub? And let's wrap up the video and talk about our personal faction war teams. So, do you know who your faction war team is and how you like them?
I can't even remember it off by heart.
Okay.
I think it's still Seal of the Drakes, War Maiden, Valkyrie, probably Soul Bomboya, and then just a fifth champion.
Okay. Okay. So that's kind of similar to the thought process, or at least the start. I have Scylla Drakes and then War Maiden. I got a 6-star perfect soul for War Maiden, so I just put that on there, but I'll be honest, I haven't utilized it to the fullest.
I'm so jealous. I wish.
This champion here, Sawai, was my attempt to have damage, and I think I've removed some kind of gear from her because she's a bit slow. But I needed to speed up this team, and so Suwai was my attempt to do that. And my plan is to replace Suwai with Jetney, so that we have Syl, War Maiden, Jetney, Yakarl, and then Turvold to clean up the mess. My goal is as fast as possible for these endgame faction war teams. And so I was actually excited about Jetney because she's so good at clearing waves.
Yeah, for faction wars, I'm not sure how fast I do 21 in, but I'm guessing it's somewhere around 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's what mine was before I built Suwai. And then Suwai helped speed that up, and I'm hoping Jetney can make it go even faster. I might even take out Turvold for Jetney, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Just because I think that might be the fastest.
I think my goal is very different to yours. My goal is to be as lazy as possible. So that's why I've got War Maiden in there, just
Nice.
because for the rare advanced quests.
Right.
And then Seal of the Drakes, just because obviously I know she's gonna keep everyone alive, so no one dies, and I can do that quest as well. But yeah, just be as lazy as possible is my goal.
Nice. Well, definitely different goals, both still admirable. So either way, I think that'll wrap up the video here. Thank you so much for being on. Anything else you want to say while we're heading out the door here?
No, I just want to say thank you so much for having me. I've had a great time. I really appreciate it. And you're a legend. You're an absolute legend. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Guys, make sure you head on over to his channel. Go subscribe to this man. I'm telling you, I've watched his videos in my own personal time. He's very knowledgeable about the game. He's doing good stuff over there, building a community. Go help him out. Go subscribe to his channel. Let's get him over 1,000 subs. And thank you so much for watching, making it all the way to the end of the video. Some other videos from this series will be popping on screen, so make sure you check those out if you haven't seen any. And until next time, have a great day, and we'll see you later.